Going on, everyone? John Matrix here. Hope you're having yourselves a wonderful day wherever you're at and whenever you're watching this. We're going to be jumping into the SCP universe with the East Side Show SCP. We're going to be checking out SCP-2578. This machine kills fascists. Iron Sky Above, the Extraterrestrial Executioner of Fascists. By, again, this is the SCP, or the East Side Show SCP. This is a requested video for me to take a look at by one of my YouTube members. So yeah, links will be down below in the description as always to the original video without my commentary and reaction into the East Side Show's channel. Please do me a favor, if you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like, and if you enjoy the East Side Show's content, be sure to hit that sub button on his channel and show the man some love. If you'd like to join us when we do these reactions live, there is a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. Get early access to videos, priority any kind of reaction requests. Excuse me. You can get access to members of my Discord channels, which if you are a member, please be sure to join Discord and link your YouTube and Discord together so you can get access to those channels and know when I'm going to be going live to do these streams. If you guys want to join in, you know, when I do these reactions, etc. So yeah, check all that stuff out if you want to take your sport to the next level. With all that said, let's jump into the video here. So again, this is going to be SCP-2578, This Machine Kills Fascists, by the East Side Show. Bada boop, bada boop. Let's do it. Volume is actually normal on this one. Don't need to give it the boost.
Item number SCP-2578. Object Class Keter.
Keter, brother.
Special Containment Procedures. Global email networks are to be monitored by the Foundation for indicators of SCP-2578-A. If the counter on a confirmed instance of SCP-2578-A reaches 24, a response team from MTF Iota-10, Damn Feds, is to be dispatched to the location of the corresponding instance of SCP-2578-B in no more than 10 hours. Over the last 2 hours, the team will monitor the situation and await further instructions. In addition, the response team will escort one D-Class Foundation employee scheduled for termination, the Scapegoat for the purposes of Contingency 12 Azazel, along with ampules of low-grade hypnostics. In the case of an in-progress Impaler event, the response team is to carry out
Excuse me, a what? An in-progress Impaler event? What?
Contingency 12 Azazel as soon as possible. Contingency 12 Azazel. 1. Through the use of hypnostics, the response team will implant the Scapegoat with artificial memories of assassinated.
So I assume hypnostics are drugs that are used to hypnotize people? I'm assuming that's what that is.
SCP-2578-B. 2. The Scapegoat will be handed over to the law enforcement authorities of SCP-2578-B's government. In the case of an aborted Impaler event, the instance of SCP-2578-B is to be detained and released after amnestic therapy. Due to the potential for civilians to communicate with SCP-2578,
we have a flying horseshoe crab.
78-D, instances of SCP-2578-C are to be excised from global email servers upon detection. At this time, due to its location and destructive potential, containment efforts of SCP-2578-D will focus on non-intervention and repeated attempts to negotiate. Description: SCP-2578 is the collective designation for a series of phenomena related to the deaths of at least 100 human subjects since 1995. Prior to death, all victims, referred to as individual instances of SCP-2578-B, shared the following characteristics. SCP-2578-B was a political figure, or was due to hold office at a future date. SCP-2578-B intended to engage in all the following political activities at a future date, and had the adequate military, financial, and political resources to do so. Ethnic cleansing, the establishment, continuation, or reinstatement of government
Well, this guy was a few decades too late to do anything about World War II, huh?
Government-sponsored slavery and/or child labor, the violent suppression of peaceful protest and/or dissent, war crimes against foreign powers, the establishment of absolute control of the national press, media, and religion. SCP-2578-B was relatively unopposed in these views by its constituents, and dissent or rebellion was curbed in such a way that, had the subject not died, all of its plans could have been successfully implemented. 72 hours prior to its death, the instance SCP-2578-B will receive a message, SCP-2578-A, on its primary personal email client. The sender will only be identified by a set symbol, shared with all instances of SCP-2578-A.
More Three Moon stuff.
The symbol appears to be three crescent shapes next to each other. The contents of SCP-2578-A is consistent throughout all instances. Sic Semper Tyrannis.
I wonder if this is again something. I don't know. Let's continue before I
Latin.
get into
Thus
that.
always the tyrant. State motto of Virginia. Also notable for its use in the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Subject's latitude and longitude. A number, which is 144 in the first message. I never miss my mark. Abdicate and you will live. This part of the message is then repeated in Spanish, French, German, Russian, Ukrainian, Arabic, Farsi, Mandarin Chinese, Japanese, and Tagalog. After 30 minutes, the message will be resent to SCP-2578.
It is something about this is definitely familiar, especially this Sic Semper Tyrannis. This has definitely showed up in an SCP video before.
B, but the value of the second number will decrease by 1. Once the number reaches 0, an impaler event will occur 72 hours after the initial SCP-2578-A. The corresponding SCP-2578-B can stop the countdown in a variety of ways, including resignation of their post, rescinding any pending orders that correspond with the aforementioned political activities, surrender to a war crimes tribunal or a resistance movement, and/or suicide. Impaler events are characterized by the sudden appearance of a borehole in the targeted instance of SCP-2578-B, which usually begins at the top of the head and ends at the groin, though alternative locations, such as with SCP-2578-B-429, have been noted. Though these incidents bear evidence of a high-powered gunshot, no bullets have been recovered from these events, and the holes will appear even when the instance is on an airplane, underground, or in a building, with no damage to the surrounding area.
Sounds like some Dark Age of technology from 40K type of weaponry here, you know what I'm saying? Like someone's got them sighted in sniper rifle and they pull a trigger and a little, you know, wormhole opens up and sends the bullet through it, hits the target, and then a little wormhole opens up that sends the retrieves the bullet again, you know? Something like that.
SCP-2578-C refers to a set of emails sent to various politicians, civilians, and other human subjects after a successful or aborted impaler event. The content varies and can be personalized, but will usually include a declaration of victory and/or words of encouragement, such as this message sent to a synagogue scheduled to be bombed after the election of SCP-2578-B-429. 3 Crescent symbol is victorious. Ioan Lupescu successfully terminated May 12, 2009. Payment due for services rendered. Abandon your fears of tyranny. Know that 3 Crescent symbol will always watch over you. 3 Crescent symbol will always protect you. And 3 Crescent symbol will always love you. This part of the message.
That still sounds creepy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're always watching you. We will always protect you. We will always love you. It just sounds like, you know, something from like an X that's a little too, you know, they're not getting the picture. You know what I'm saying?
is present in some capacity in all instances of SCP-2578-C. The
Okay,
entire
all of
content
a
of this
sudden.
message is then repeated in Spanish, French, German, Russian, Ukrainian, Arabic, Farsi, Mandarin
We
Chinese,
got it.
Japanese,
You
and
said that
Tagalog.
already.
SCP-2578-D is a metallic spacecraft approximately 3 meters in length. It has been identified as the source of all Impaler events and SCP-2578-C and C transmissions. Whether SCP
It definitely feels like there's something along those lines going on. There feels like there's more going on with that spider deity, and it feels a little bit more, I guess, nefarious. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's more going on than what meets the eye.
SCP-2578-D is a manned or unmanned spacecraft is unknown at this time. The origin of SCP-2578-D is unknown, but its design has been noted as similar to that of a horseshoe crab. This is believed to be an aesthetic design choice, rather than to serve a definite purpose. Various painted decals of the triple crescent symbol associated with SCP-2578-A and C have been identified on its side from satellite photography. The tail of SCP-2578-D can be positioned from 3 points of articulation. The tip of the tail contains what appears to be a projectile weapon system used to carry out Impaler events. The mechanism behind this weapon is not currently understood. In addition to this weapon,
Seeing like obviously too, right? Like it's interesting that they're essentially playing with politics and shaping the world how they want it to be too, right? And this is happening on planets that aren't even a part of their initiative, to my understanding. So then that also kind of leads to me to believe, right, that like who or whatever is sending those spheres out to teleport the planets, like they're trying to shape world events so that humanity will lean more towards their morals and values so that, you know, when they get sent or they get teleported, brought to that, you know, their afterlife dimension, they'll just kind of like fall in line kind of a situation. And it seems like the spider deity is really kind of like using humans as like foot soldiers to fight whatever that Strider goddess is. You know, of the witch queen of the Striders or whatever. And it seems like they're just locked in this like eternal battle with each other where one can't really kill the other, and humanity seems to be its like foot soldiers. I don't know. That just kind of seems to be what's going on. So it's like, how did this fight between them start? Why did it start? You know, like what are these beings? Are these beings like actual gods? Were they gods from some other thing? Like, was there some kind of other life or something like that on the planet of Korbanik? And some kind of war of the gods happened, and these are the last two deities left, and they just can't just kill each other. So now they're using other quote unquote lower life forms to like wage their war, kind of a thing. I don't know.
it also contains an unknown amount of surface-mounted energy projection devices. See Incident 2578-1427 for more information. The location of SCP-2578-D varies
Yeah.
as needed to carry out its objectives
That's
and
right.
avoid detection, but it will rarely descend lower than 4,000 kilometers above the Earth's surface. The propulsion mechanism of SCP-2578-D is unknown. Addendum: Excerpt from the log of recorded SCP-2578-B instances. Designation: Name, Title, Impaler Event, Notes: SCP-2578-B-013 Radovan Karadzic, President of the Republic of Srpska. Occurred April 19, 1996.
Why does he look like that guy from Friends? Matthew Perry. Tell me he doesn't look like Matthew Perry. Like, could be like Matthew Perry's dad or something.
Note from Dr. Naismith. As of July 21, 2008, the current procedures are to take precedent over all former containment procedures. I'm sorry, framing D-Class for killing politicians isn't pretty, but our alternative medicine guru cover-up after SCP-2578 caused the disappearance of Karadzic wasn't just unethical, it was silly. SCP-2578-B-326 Mohammed bin Salman, Deputy Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Aborted. For a detailed list of the 230 aborted Impaler events so far in Saudi Arabia, please refer to Document 2578-K. SCP-2578-B-429 Ion Lupescu, President-elect of Romania. Occurred May 12, 2009. The borehole was discovered through Mr. Lupescu's chest. Eyewitness accounts claimed that approximately 5 minutes before the Impaler event, Mr. Lupescu grew increasingly agitated for unknown reasons, and insisted on letting his 4-year-old daughter ride on his shoulders. Incident 2578-1427 On April 19, 2016, after the aborted Impaler event of SCP-2578-B-832, the Foundation used the computer terminals that received several instances of SCP-2578-C in China to triangulate the origin of the messages, leading to the discovery of SCP-2578-D. Email contact was established with SCP-2578-D by the Foundation shortly thereafter, requesting information about its origins. In return, SCP-2578-D sent the following. Very interesting. With regrets, I must ignore these irrelevant questions completely, and thank you immensely for the indirect access to your database, which was very informative about the impasse I have reached in North Korea. For a while, it felt as if I were talking to a wall in the back and forth with Kim Jong-un, but a bronze Steely is close enough. It seems a more direct approach is needed for liberation. With love, triple crescent symbol.
Interesting.
2 hours after the above message was
building.
received by O5 Command, SCP-1427 was declared neutralized. Research into use of SCP-2578 as a means of neutralizing difficult-to-contain SCP objects, or SCP
I'm waiting for that to just launch up into the space, you know what I'm saying?
objects of political origin, is pending O5 approval. Incident 2578-1427 Timeline.
Like I said, it just seems like, for whatever reason, the Three Moons Initiative is very interested in shaping world events on this Earth.
1715. Containment staff of SCP-1427 terminated in a simultaneous Impaler event without warning. Emails of apology sent to the containment staff's families from SCP-2578-D. 1729. SCP-2578-D sighted in the stratosphere over Pyongyang, descending rapidly from high Earth orbit. 1731. SCP-2578-D infiltrates the containment area of SCP-1427 and begins direct bombardment with projected energy weapons on the ends of its tendrils. 1732. 1427 sustains heavy damage and snaps in two. SCP-2578-D begins to retreat, apparently leaving the Steely neutralized. 1734. As an apparent defense mechanism, SCP-1427 begins to exhibit higher than usual outputs of electromagnetic energy, causing irreversible psychological damage to all those who were previously under its control. 1736. SCP-2578-D returns, latches onto both halves of SCP-1427 and rapidly ascends into high Earth orbit. 1753. The two halves of SCP-1427 are seen by a Foundation satellite, drifting in the direction of the Sun. At 2012, Dr. Naismith received the following message from SCP-2578-D. 3 Crescent symbol is victorious. Regrettably, I could not stop the Steely from delivering its cowardly parting shot towards its slaves. Even so, their current plight is better than life as it had been only a day prior. I thank you for your assistance, friend. Also, I have sustained heavy external damage from expending this much energy in a short period of time. So if any tyrants come up while I am in auto repair for the next week, I'm afraid they'll have to wait.
So it almost sounds like, I mean, like maybe I'm wrong, but it sounds like there was another extra dimensional force that might have been exerting some play on this Earth, trying to take it over. And so this like ship assassinated them. I don't know.
Wait a bit longer.
I don't know. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, it definitely goes to show that there's some more motives behind the Three Moons Initiative. And, you know, the fact that they're playing with politics and essentially seeming to assassinate people that don't share their worldviews obviously can be taken in different directions, right? That could be seen because they're supposedly just targeting, like, you know, tyrants, fascists, people who want to abuse power and, you know, potentially do some very bad things, etc. But at the same time, right, like, they're still playing around with politics and things on planets that aren't affiliated with them and seemingly are trying to shape things in a way that is favorable to the Three Moons Initiative. And it just seems like that's kind of like their recruiting process or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have these ships that stay in orbit that like monitor what's going on the planet. And if things aren't to their liking, or if someone's doing something that's not to their liking, they like send them a warning and say, hey, you know, you basically have until this countdown ends to do these things. If you don't do any of these things, then we're just going to take you out. And then who knows what kind of afterlife they go to, right? Maybe they get shunted to the Three Moons afterlife and then they get punished there, or maybe they go somewhere else. But it definitely still seems like what I was saying earlier, where it feels like it's also just part of their recruiting process, where they're going to try to shape the world to their political views and whatnot, so that when a, you know, XK class or whatever scenario is going to happen, they can port the world, you know, to their dimension, and it can become part of the Three Moons or whatever, you know, however many moons initiative it'll be at that point. And then it's more humans and more power that the spider deity will have in whatever battle it has against the Destroyer Witch Queen. You know, that's kind of what I feel like is going on. But who knows? Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. That's where it seems like it's going to me. Ending this video and the forum bring those very interesting questions, for sure. For sure. I don't think it's an actual afterlife that makes sense at all, bros. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, it's definitely not an afterlife in what you would think the traditional sense of an afterlife is, right? It's just basically like, instead of dying, you almost get teleported to another dimension and you just happen to be immortal there. Like, everything else is basically the same. You're still a human. You're in a human body. I don't think you get like hungry and need to eat, right? I don't think that happened in the stories that we read. I think they kind of brought that up. So like that's a thing. And then like they can't actually leave that dimension unless someone was born in that dimension, right? Like if I remember correctly, people that are born in that dimension are mortal. And then when they die, they go to, you know, some other kind of afterlife or whatever. But other than that, they can't leave that dimension, so they have technology that they can send out to various things, etc. So I like, yeah, I don't know. There's definitely a lot more questions I would have about Korbernik and the Three Moons and where the kind of lore and story is going behind, you know, with it. But I also don't think if you die, you go to heaven, hell, anything like that, but the artificial afterlife dimension possibly created by something of the gods. I mean, it could be, right? Again, like that spider deity could have essentially established this, like, maybe it found some kind of way to tap into, I don't know how to explain it, right? But like when someone dies, maybe it figured out a way to tap into like that like moment of like purgatory, I guess, before your afterlife gets chosen. Because I guess supposedly there's millions or however many, you know, number of afterlives in the SCP universe. And like it somehow established itself as one and just taps into that and like has just been bringing people over there again for use in its war against the Strider Queen. You know, who knows? I mean, as I've said in a lot of these videos we've been going over about Korbernik and the Three Moons, I'm definitely down to learn more about them and read more lore about them, because as we're getting into more of it, more and more questions being brought up, but it's also just fascinating. It's fascinating. And again, as I've stated in these videos, just the idea to me of, you know, essentially being a human in another dimension where you're immortal, and like, what does that mean? What is civilization in that kind of situation? You know, they go to war with these Striders, but they're still immortal, so they can't die. So like, what is war even like in that kind of scenario, right? Like, if you can't die, what's even the point of war and fighting? You know, I mean, I guess obviously to solve certain kind of conflicts if they can't be solved in any other way, but if things are immortal and they can't die, then like you're just gonna be stuck in like a never-ending conflict. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. It just, to me, it's just fascinating, that idea. So, but yeah, that was SCP-2578. This machine kills fascists by the East Side Show. SCP. Links will be down below in the description as always. To the original video without my commentary interaction, and to the East Side Show's channel. So please do me a favor. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. And if you enjoy the content the East Side Show puts out, be sure to go over to his channel and make sure you hit that sub button. Show the man some love and support. He definitely deserves it. If you've been around the channel for a while and decide you want to take your support to the next level, there's a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. You can get early access to videos for any kind of reaction requests you might have, anything you want me to take a look at. Members only Discord channels. Please, if you are a member and you want to join Discord, be sure to link your YouTube account with your Discord. That way you can get access to those channels and you can know when I'm going to be going live, to do these reactions with my members, etc. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, consider leaving a like and a sub. It helps me and the channel grow. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful day.